Ten hut, you fucking scrotum suckers, and welcome to the land and sea vehicle episode of Battlefield 4 Bootcamp. There's plenty of land vehicles here at the alpha objective of the test range, and there's sea vehicles over at the sea flag. Get it? C&C? What a terrible fucking pun by Dice. Anyways, so before we hop into a vehicle here, let's show you what I'm working with. Now, in order to get into your vehicle specializations, you hit the right trigger button, and bam, there's all of your shit. So, there's three main different types of land vehicles. There's your main battle tanks, your anti-infantry tanks, and your anti-aircraft tanks. So, let's first go over the main battle tank. Now, all of these different land vehicles have the following options on them. There's the primary and secondary weapon for when you're driving. So, the primary weapon in this is an anti-personnel shell, although you can obviously upgrade the shells here. This is by pressing left on the D-pad, alright? Or you could also pick Y to switch between the primary and secondary weapon. Secondary weapon here is the coaxial LMG, but you could unlock a bunch of different shit on here. So, you press right on the D-pad to access your secondary weapon, or, like I said, you could just hit Y to toggle between these two weapons when you're the driver. Now, for every single tank, these are different, so I'll go through them as we get through each of the different tanks. Every single tank, however, has the same countermeasures. Now, the countermeasures are done by pushing down on the D-pad. They could be an infrared smoke cloud, they could be an actual smoke screen, a fire extinguisher, or active protection like a trophy system. Now, the IR smoke and the smoke screen kind of is pretty much self-explanatory. The fire extinguisher is if you're critical damaged, you could actually repair yourself as a driver. You don't need a repair guy to come help you out, but this only takes effect when you're in critical damage, whether that's immobilized for this particular tank or if you are up in a helicopter or a jet. Fuck it, we'll talk about that next time. Now, active protection is kind of like the trophy system. It'll detect any time you're getting locked onto, and it'll automatically neutralize that lock on here. So, this is down on the D-pad. Up on the D-pad, we'll toggle between the optics. So, there's a zoom optic, which is regular, 3x zoom and regular zoom. Infrared and thermal options for when you're zooming in with your primary or secondary weapon. Now, there's also some upgrades. There's maintenance, which actually improves your vehicle's recovery. There's thermal camo, which actually increases the time that somebody needs to target your vehicle. There's the auto loader, which decreases the amount of reload time. That I'll get to in a second when we actually get into the tanks. I'll show you the HUD. When you use your primary weapon, eventually you'll run out of ammo or run into a timer here for the amount of shells you could fire at once. So while that timer is all the way down, you could switch to your secondary weapon and fire away while the first one is reloading. And then lastly is the reactive armor. This will basically, toughen you up. You will be able to absorb some more shit just like a fucking ShamWow. Now, for the gunner seat of all of these tanks. Now, in the battle tanks, there's only two seats. There's the driver and the gunner seat. In the other tank, the anti-infantry fighting vehicles, there's actually 5 different seats, but there's still only one driver and one gunner. The rest of the seats are actually passengers. And with the mobile anti-aircraft, there is no gunner seat. That is a one-person vehicle. So these gunner optics are only available on the main battle tanks and the anti-infantry tanks. So the gunner optics are the same as the optics for the driver, zoom, infrared, and thermal. The gunner upgrades are sort of similar to the upgrades for the driver, but they're slightly different. There's the belt feeder, which decreases the amount of time to reload. There's the proximity scan, which will actually light people up like a Christmas tree on your minimap if they're near the tank. There is a SOFLAM, which is basically like the SOFLAM from the recon kit. It'll paint targets and allows the driver to actually shoot their rockets at something that's laser designated. So your gunner and your driver can work hand in hand here. And there's also some incendiary clouds, which basically just hurts the people around the tank, kind of like an incendiary grenade does. So that is the basics for the main battle tanks. If we switch over to the infantry fighting vehicles, there's different primary weapons here. There's your high explosive shells. There's your canister shells here, which are very, very good at eliminating the enemies, and there's also the T-shells. Those are without explosives. Now, the secondary weapon here, there's the coax MG or the tow missile. Now, if you have the gunner upgrade as the infrared, not the infrared, rather, the SOFLAM, this rocket can be guided onto whoever the gunner is pointing at. Since this is a fly-by-wire kind of missile, you could also guide it into enemies. And then, of course, again, there is the Zuni rockets, which are just unguided infantry rockets here. Again, countermeasures are exactly the same, optics the same, upgrades the same, gunner optics the same, gunner upgrades exactly the same. Now, anti-aircraft, like I told you, this is only a one-man vehicle, so there aren't any gunner upgrades down at the bottom because there isn't a gunner seat. You are the driver and the gunner. So this is for mostly taking out aircraft that are flying up in the sky. However, it's also very, very good against ground infantry because they have those 20mm and 30mm cannons, and also against those people flying in the air. Your secondary weapon are your heat seekers that could lock on. With that being said, there is also the attack boats. Now, this is the boat here, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's got primary weapons and secondary weapons that are very similar to the other different tanks that are in the game. There's a few different things here, though. There's some laser-guided anti-tank missiles. There's a TV-guided tank missile. This is basically controlled with a remote camera here. And, of course, there's your same countermeasures, optics, and your upgrades here, as I just unlocked the proximity scan somehow, but I like the thermal camo for this anyway. So let's hit deploy, and let's get out into one of these vehicles. Now, I'll explain to you what each and every one of these are. So let's hop on. Well, the quad bike is quite obvious. There is no gunners or anything in there. The MRAP is kind of like a Jeep. Your M116 ITV. This is kind of like your buggy or your jihadi Jeep, if you will. So now let's go over the controls in this thing. You have to hold down the X button to enter and exit vehicles. That's how you do it in this particular game. Now, once you're in a vehicle, you could hit A to switch seats here, as you see me toggle them through seats. The driver's seat is always at the top. The gunner seat is always right underneath it, and then any passenger seats will be after that. The Y is to change your weapons, like I said before, and most of it is self-explanatory right there for the tanks. The other controls I already went over. Now, this is the MRAP right here. It's got a gunner on the top, so it's basically a Jeep, but it's got, you know, a coaxial chain machine gun on the top, and you could zoom in with the left trigger here in order to get, you know, a bigger zoom, but this is the only gun on here. You'll see I eventually have to, you know, stop shooting because this thing will overheat. So once it stops shooting because it overheats, the only thing you can do is sit around and wait. Now, this fucking beast right here, this M142, is pretty crazy. It looks like a fucking gas truck that you would see filling up at a gas station, but this thing actually has rockets on top of it. So it shoots very similar to a mortar. You guys remember that from the support kit episode? You could shoot the rockets kind of like a mortar here for this. This is mostly for anti-tank, but you could also use it for anti-infantry and anti-air if you get lucky enough to have somebody come out in front of you. And then, of course, there's the quad bike. So, let me go over the controls on how to move. I totally forgot that part. So, I use the classic controls. As we go to the options here, we go to the vehicle sticks. I use the veteran vehicle buttons, okay? So these aren't the default ones. These are the same ones from Battlefield 3. This is the way that I do it because it's much, much easier for me. Alright, so the right trigger is accelerator, the left trigger is brake, and then reverse. Alright, the right bumper button will still spot enemies for you, and then the left bumper is actually going to be what you use in order to shoot, or in this case with the quad bike, listen in. You can honk at people to fucking get in if you really want them to get in. Or you could just say get in and the Kinect will do it for you. Now, it's time for the fucking big boys here. So, this is your M1 Abrams. This is your main battle tank here. So, there's a lot of shit on the screen. On the left-hand side, let me pull this down here. It says IR smoke is ready, alright? It also has on the bottom AP shell. That is what you're using right now as your gun that you're firing. So you hit the Y button, you could switch to the coaxial LMG, or you could do it by left or right on the D-pad, just like I said. Now the optic for this is the zoom optic, so you could either hit up on the D-pad, and it doesn't look like you could do it with the left trigger. That's right, because the left trigger is for stop and go, is for stopping rather. So you look around here, basically you look with your right stick, and then you move the bottom part of the body with the left stick. So that's how you kind of drive this tank, is you hold down the right trigger and you move it kind of with the left stick to move the body, right stick to move the top part of it. So that's how it goes. This is an enemy tank. Let's engage it here. So if you'll notice in the lower left-hand, or lower right-hand corner of the screen, rather, there's several different bars. There's the health bar for the tank, which is right now at 100. There's your personal health bar, and there's also the amount of ammo in here. So with this AP shells, I have 4 shots with it. So let's make this thing count. So there's one, and you see that little bar that's refilling? That's when you have to refill and wait. So you're going to have to wait, and it also says wait on the screen right there. When it says ready, that's when you know that you're ready to fire your next gun. So while that's waiting, you could switch over with the trigger to the coaxial LMG, wait until the other part pops up, and then just keep switching back and forth here. That is the easiest way in order to take out tanks, is just switch back and forth between your guns. Now, the bottom countermeasure, if you hit down on the D-pad, this is the infrared smoke right there. You saw a nice little smoke screen that I got over it. So in the lower right-hand part of the screen, you'll see I've got 0 as my tactical, I guess if you will, or my countermeasure. So we'll wait for it to fill up here, and then when it's actually ready, it'll say 1, and the infrared smoke, you see it's counting down on the left-hand side of the screen to wait, and now the infrared smoke is ready, so we'll hit it off again, and then we have to wait some extra time. Let's go and get into the anti-infantry vehicle, which is this motherfucker over here. This is an LAV. This is one of those annoying fucks that you probably see all the time. Again, there's 2 different types of things that you can use here, and this countermeasure is the actual smoke. So check this out. I'm now in a smoke screen against the actual enemies, and of course, I have to wait for that thing to count down. Now, let's show you off the other primary guns that we have on this. This has got regular rockets, so as we're firing that right here, those are your anti-infantry rockets. While we wait for that to refill back up, let's switch over to the tow missile, and like I said, you can kind of guide it however you want. You see how that works? We'll switch back over to this other gun, and then we'll use this up a little bit here, and when the other bar refills, that's when we know the tow missile is ready. Again, fly by wire, so that this way we can control it kind of with our thing. And for this, the optic is our infrared scope. So you can kind of see the infrared here. Thermal will be black and white, so that's kind of the different optic for that guy. Now, where the fuck is, there it is, it's all the way over there. Let's head into the anti-aircraft vehicle, or the AA vehicle as they like to call it. Now, since this is a one-person thing, you see right here we got the Vulcan, and this is basically your normal machine gun. Where is this fucking thing up in the air? There it is. So you could basically shoot at that thing up in the air, and you can get hit markers on it. Now, again, you hit up, and then that's how you're going to get to your zoom that we did right there. If we hit the up button, that's your anti-air. So unfortunately, that thing is a bit out of my range right now, just like a hot girl at the bar. So let's go ahead and let's figure out where a closer anti-air, there is another thing of air. So let's switch over to our anti-air, and there you see, unfortunately, it got out of range for the lock. So let's move over a little bit as I run that other fucking tank over. There we go. So let's see, it's going to lock on now, and then we shoot with the left bumper, and there you go. There's the fucking, the anti-air is going to go ahead and shoot some rockets in. Take that motherfucker out, baby. So this is how you use the anti-air. You use the rockets in conjunction with the regular coaxial MG, and there you go. That thing will fucking fall down to pieces. Now, I'm going to go ahead and redeploy at the C objective, and I am going to get into the fucking boat. I'm on a boat, bitch! Let's get on this boat. So, you got the boat here. Same controls for driving as the tanks, but remember, don't fucking beats this shit. It'll be bad. Oh, I also forgot to mention, if you click in the left bumper or the left stick, you can boost, and if you click in the right stick, it'll give you a third-person view of whatever vehicle you're in. So remember that as well. So now for this, there's your regular, normal, you know, just cannon motherfucking thing right here. And also on this boat, there is an anti-aircraft missile. So let's see where this aircraft is right here. So there, it's acquiring the lock-on. Hit the left bumper. Let's shoot these little rockets at it. And then there that motherfucker goes. So the key strategy in tanks is keep rotating between your primary and your secondary weapons here. So let's get out of this fucking boat and let's get back on the land here. And so what I'm going to do for this particular episode is I'm going to go play a bunch of different games and only cut in the portions that I'm in a tank so I could show you guys how I behave in real life, because unfortunately sometimes it takes a while to get into a tank. So I'll check you guys later, you fucks. Now I am. Alright, so I'm spawning into the rib boat here, which is actually something I didn't even talk about, because this is not like an attack boat here. If you're driving, basically you're the driver. There's the gunner out on the front of the boat right there, and of course there's my buddy Knots Predator in the passenger seat. He keeps flipping, flopping back and forth right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make laps around this Charlie objective right here so that my gunner can put in some work, and if people actually want to jump out and jump ship, then they can do it. So what I'll do is I'll click in the right stick so that I can go into third-person view so I don't beach this fucking thing. And we are capturing the flag even though we're not on it right here. There's a bunch of people on the shore. And as the driver right now, I'm just making laps around this fucking thing. But I think I might turn around and go the other way because I saw a whole bunch of people on this side. So get in the boat, you drive. Let me get on the coax. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm hopping back into the rib boat right here. My buddy Knots is actually doing the repair right there, so he's going to be repairing it. He switched over to the passenger seat. He's going to switch over to the driver's seat. I'm in the gunner's seat right now, and let's go. Let's kill some fucking nubs. I Love Fat Chicks is jacking their fucking helicopter, it seems. There's a boat right up ahead, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just attack the shit out of it as we got fucking hit right into the boat right there. So let's fucking get it. And there that boat goes. Me and the helicopter, we're just killing them. Now, you can spot vehicles while you're in a boat. I'm getting shot at from the right-hand side right there. Where are we getting shot at from? There it is. Alright, so I'm laying into this motherfucker right there, and we just ran over them, Knots. That's hilarious. You'll see right now, our boat has 8 health, 2 health. There goes the boat. So it's good to keep your eyes in the lower right-hand corner on both the health of your player and of your boat or vehicle or whatever you're in. So, unfortunately, there I just got hit by a helicopter, so I was immobilized. I was going to go out and repair the tank with my repair tool. Unfortunately, the helicopter ended up finishing me off. Now, if you're immobilized, there's nothing you can do about it. Usually, in the lower right-hand corner, your health bar will go red when you're immobilized or when you have taken critical damage. So, if you're critical, the best thing to do is either bail out, or if you have the fire extinguisher, hop on the fire extinguisher and try and repair yourself. But at that point, when you're immobilized, you're basically a sitting duck. There's a jet that's flying way too close to me. You know what's awesome? When there's a jet that comes over water, the water actually moves as if the jet is like coming towards it. Alright, so I'm gonna hop on board with Knots' boat right here. I'm gonna take the gunner seat as indicated by the target in the lower right-hand corner. And I'm going to hop onto the right-hand side of the boat here because that's where all of the enemies are. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to try and take this helicopter out, some of these tanks out that are over here. Let's see. Now he's switching over, and he's getting hurt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop on the repair tool and repair the dope. So low power is what he just told me, so I'm repairing this as fast as I can. So when you're an engineer, it's very important to, you know, look at the lower right-hand corner to see. Unfortunately, I ended up getting shot off the back of the boat. So he's pretty much fucked right now. Sorry, Knots. I'm going to spawn on I Love Fat Chicks real fast. He is in this LAV, and this LAV can actually go in the water. Come on, buddy, get in the water. The water's fine. We're kind of treading water here, but we could actually go into the water, so I'm going to wait for him to get out of the vehicle, and I'm going to go ahead and hopefully get in it. One thing about if you're in the gunner seat, it's normal controls. The left trigger is to zoom in and out, the right trigger is to shoot. Now here we go. So you'll see right now we're in the LAV and we're in the water. So the LAV is actually a land and water vehicle. So we're in the water and the driving remains the same. It moves much, much slower in the water than it does on land. So just remember that. You're better off on land. And there you see, there's a guy over there. I'm going to hit him up a couple times with that machine gun. Getting the squad passenger assist right there. We fucking murked that guy. So now that we're back on land, look at how much faster we're moving in this LAV. We're moving and grooving, styling and profiling. So if I want to go to a passenger seat right here, unfortunately the only thing I could do is look, and I see that guy right there. So what I'm going to do is hop out of the vehicle right fast, and I'm going to get him. Oh, that was dumb, because as soon as I hopped out there was another guy, but at least he and the tank ended up taking him out. So it's always good to spot people. It's better to stay into the tank, but that was, you know, a dumb idea by me. So yes, what Notch just pointed out to me is when you're actually on the RCB boat, you can actually escape via the PWC or the jet ski or the personal watercraft. So the controls for driving it are the same as, you know, you would drive the regular boat. It's kind of like a quad in the fact that it's got no weapon on it, but at the same time, it'll go really, really fast. So there's a boat off in the distance. I'm going to try and hit it a couple times with some of my weapons here. So my coaxial HMG is not going to do shit against it, but my shell should do some stuff against it. So unfortunately I have to wait. And remember, this is the main tank, and there goes the vehicle there, but I do see the guys are trying to swim in. So I was going to hit them up, but unfortunately the game ended right before I could shoot him. So I'm in the tank here with my buddy Knots. We're going to go two-man wrecking crew status with the T90 here, and yeah, we're going to do what we got to do. So I got the AP shell on the primary, coaxial on the secondary, and we're just driving. Now, if you push in the left trigger, that'll get the zoom. So look at how fast I'm driving now, baby. It's like a hit of nitrous getting that NOS button. Going with clicking in the right trigger here brings me a third-person view, which is very useful for getting through close engagements. So I'm basically when you're in a tank, you are kind of PTFOing, but at the same time, you can't stand still for very long. So if you're going to be on a flag, you're going to want to be constantly moving. I'm going balls deep, as we see. There's a squish! Get fucking squished, bitch! And there goes that vehicle as well. Now, for the tank, the weakest part of it is the back. As you see right there, I just got immobilized from one hit to the back. So we just suffered some critical damage. Knots is going to get out and repair it. I'm going to get back in it, because at least this way I can get on the gunner seat. And, yep, no, we unfortunately, we ended up taking too much damage right there. What's up? Never go that balls to the wall early in the match is what the comment was. So unfortunately there is no tank for me to spawn in on. I did get one right here. Let's see, what is this? This is the SPM 43. So this is basically like your normal Jeep. This is, you know, transport Jeep. You got a driver, but you can't really do much. There isn't anything really going on. So like I said, never stand still, even when you're capturing an objective. So let's drive out of the way. I just squished another motherfucker. Let's do this game. Alright, so Knots is going to be in the gunner seat right here. He's going to be directing me as to where to go, because I can't, to the right, to the right. So there's another one to the left too. Two to the left, two to the left, two to the left. Alright. Alright, so we're going to take a right over here. Yeah, vehicles... Oh, I fucking hit that tree. So it's a little bit of a sticky situation. We're going to stay still for a second here as I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't move. Alright. I'm going to hop down in the gunner seat while Knots is repairing it, even though I just stuck this thing on this tree. Where is this helicopter here? There it is. So it looks like that's going down. So we're going to be okay. Now, if you got teamwork, obviously this is what you got to do when you're immobilized, is get somebody to repair it. I'm going to let him drive because I got us into this mess, and yeah, he's able to get us out of this mess. So I'm hopping down on the gunner seat here. Obviously, I am not the best driver. I should get my fucking license revoked. Who would have known? The people that drive on the left-hand side of the road actually know how to drive better than us who drive on the right? So there you go. I just gunned that motherfucker down right there. Alright, so what we're going to do is make our way through the trees. Even though this is a crazy ride right now, I'm going to head into third-person view. We're just hopping and skipping and jumping all over the place. Here we go. That is a rock, as I am just going to drive over here. Let's get out, and let's go capture this this D objective, as in getting the D. I saw that guy over across the way. No, not you fucking ran me over, you dick! That was not a fucking accident, you piece of shit! No, bullshit, Knots. Bull fucking shit.
What the hell?
Oh my god. Get out of here. You know exactly what you did. Alright, so we're losing the Alpha objective, which is what I'm by. I'm in this anti-infantry tank right here, so let me turn this bitch around. I am a terrible driver, as you guys can see, but not as bad as Knox, apparently. So there are guys over here in the Alpha objective. It is in a building, so yeah. We are going to go see if we can clear them out. Oh, there it is. There he goes. Alright, so I'm going to go capture this Alpha objective after taking out that one dude, and yeah, even though I said never stand still with a tank, I don't think there's anybody over here, so I think we'll be okay. Nope, I'm incredibly wrong. You see, the life bar has stopped. When the life bar stops, that means that somebody else is there, and unfortunately, I just got taken out by a mine, because the guy who was there planted the mine behind me. Derp, 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 derp. That would have been a good, that would have been a good time to actually use the third-person view in order to figure out what the fuck was going on there. So I'm going back to Alpha because I want to kill that motherfucker that just mined me. Fucking shit! The mine again! No point in shooting at an empty helicopter here. And you see the warning flashing in the upper left-hand corner. That means that somebody has a lock on us. You also hear a beeping sound. You hear that beeping sound? So yeah, that means that somebody has a lock on us. So whenever you hear that warning, it's best to get to cover so that this way you don't actually get locked on by a javelin or any other anti-tank device. There's two people behind us, Knots. Bail. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit him off with the repair tool right here. There's plenty of people over here. That tank is pretty much fucked, but I'm still going to keep repairing it. Looks like we got some repairs. Now, what you want to do is repair it and then hopefully pick out the people that are shooting at it, which hopefully was that guy right there. Where'd the tank go? Where'd you go? Oh, you fucked off. Alright, so yeah, smart play right there to just get out of there as soon as you are able to be mobilized. That guy's gone. I'm coming after you. So as a good engineer, you always have to remember, look out on foot for the ground, because it's a lot harder for the people in the tank to see things that are going on around you. Because remember, he's trying to switch between first and third person view. Third person view is the best for seeing the people that are around you, but first person view is the easiest way to drive. So I'm going to be repairing him here. We're getting to cover, and now I'm going to hop back in the tank because that is the best way for me to not get killed here. You're always safer in a tank than not in a tank. And there's the guy right in front of us. Let's mow him down with the little squad vehicle right there. Killed him with the Kill him with the kindness, as they like to say. Well, unfortunately, we're immobilized here, so I'm going to hop out. Going to go hit him off with the repair tool. I don't know where we actually got shot from. And there goes me. Yeah, he's behind. He's behind. It looks like he's strapped with C4. Alright, so the AA vehicle, basically, it's a one-man vehicle, as you see right here. There's no other spot for anything, so you're the driver and the driver only. It looks like the commander wants us to go to the Alpha. I see that guy over there. I'm trying to ping him out for the teammate. There we go. So the teammate definitely took him out right there, and I'm going to put on the third-person view, and it's difficult to get over these potholes. I see him. Fuck, I just ran over a mine. Alright, I'm shooting the shit out of him. Why is he not dying? Alright, so my buddy Knots is repairing me, and unfortunately there's another tank over on the other side there. So let's see if there's any aircraft in the area. Only the MAV, which I'm not even going to bother taking out. Oh, there's a guy up there. Yeah, you were standing on my turret. I couldn't fucking shoot at him. So I'm going to head out of this direction into a safer area there. There's a bunch of people. Alright. That's the best thing to do. Oh, behind you. Alright, so I took the one guy out here. Let's see. I'm just going to keep driving.
I say again, I've spotted a hostile NAV south of your location.
Alright, so I'm going to jump out here because this is a one-person vehicle. And this way that Knots can actually spawn on me, and then let's get this thing back in action here. He's going to jump on me, go for a little ride, as we need to get one of these flags or else we're going to lose this match. So there's a... Oh, shit! So somebody came up from next to us and just C4'd our ass. So, with the anti-air, it's also halfway decent at taking out ground infantry. However, its primary objective is to take out the shit in the air. That was what the rockets were for. Alright, we made it past that match by the skin of our fucking teeth. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Battlefield 4 Bootcamp land and sea vehicles. Now you could go full tank mode, no pun intended here. And get the fuck out of my face, you little scoundrels. Go scrub the fucking bathroom with your toothbrushes, asshats.